Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 13th through the 19th, and during that time, we'll have a full moon on the 13th, and that could be a time of heightened emotions, maybe being a little overwhelmed and anxious, or snappy and irritable. If you're like me, I do experience kind of a sleep interruption during the full moon. I really have a hard time sleeping, or I wake up a lot during the night. So it's just a time for us to be able to practice patience and calm, which is kind of a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little gift for you to be able to practice those things. A little challenge, I guess. We then will move into the waning gibbous energy after the full moon, and that's a really good time for self-reflection and rebirth, time to just kind of buckle down, get things done, and just really have the positive potential for things to get accomplished and, kind of get rid of bad habits, negative thinking, let all that stuff go to the wayside so that you can get things done. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Sagittarius. So, of course, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message card, and I've got the card from my last one. I guess the universe just wanted me to tell you this one as well. You are good enough, Sagittarius, and the card that I've pulled here. Don't let pride get in your way. Must be a reason why that card was left out. And it was for you. You were the reason. All right, as I'm shuffling, Sagittarius, I would like to say that since my readings are free to you, all I ask in return is that you hit that subscribe button and maybe even that like button. It really helps my channel, and it's super, super easy for you to do. So I'll give you just a moment to do that right now. Thank you so, so much. And if you've been a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and helping me build a community here. I'm starting to see repeating faces, and I just want to say thank you, and I do appreciate you. Also, my weekly reminder for this week is to notice the world around you. And that would be in the way of like animals or repeating numbers, maybe songs or conversations that you're overhearing. But watch for those synchronicities, not just this week, of course, but every week as the universe speaks to you. And those are your clues and breadcrumbs that the universe tosses out there for you to follow and that show you clarity on your unique path. So, just my fun weekly reminder for the week. Okay, Sagittarius, don't let pride get in your way. You are good enough. April 13th through 19th, and we've already got cards flying out. So your present energy right now is Queen of Swords. So you're sitting in a place where you are very intellectually just centered, and you know what it is that you want. You know what you're about. You know who you are. And you also communicate that in a very concise manner. And that's awesome. Great energy, clarity. Speaking, I was watch her hand out there that she knows what she's talking about. She uses that hand when she's saying things. So that's just being just crystal clear about who you are and what you think about things. Your current situation is here's another sword for you. So, Ace of Swords is kind of an aha moment that you have some kind of mental breakthrough. And this could be, the breakthrough that brought you to this kind of clarity. So, very, very nice. What is just beneath you here, the root of your situation, is that maybe you've been feeling like an outsider in some manner, and something has come to you and it's kind of changed that. Maybe last week you weren't able to speak up about something because you kind of felt like an outsider. You didn't feel like you had enough information, but now all of a sudden here comes this information to you, and you're like, well, now I formed an opinion, or you've had some experience or something that has kind of changed your mind, and that feeling like an outsider may go away because of that. Just behind you is a little bit of anxiety. So there could be, this could be something that was bringing you a little bit of stress, and here we are with more swords. A lot of times this is just stuff that's in your mind, and maybe because you were stressed about it, again, you've come to this clarity about it, and you're just being very clear. You've learned something, in this anxiety and this anxiousness that you've been through, and because you had to put so much thought into it, but you've come to some sort of conclusion about it. What's on your mind this week is the Sun card. So on your mind is, you know what, I'm going to let all this go. I'm going to be very happy. That was very stressful, but I've kind of had this aha moment, and I've had this new light coming down on me on how I'm going to be very concise, and I don't feel like an outsider anymore, right? What is just ahead of you is, yeah, an ending on that. We're going to let all of that go and move ahead in just a more positive way. Again, speaking your mind. You've got now the sun raining down on you, and that's really at the forefront of your mind is, how am I going to be happier? And not just how, but that you are. And so, yeah, letting go of that. In your advice position this week is to kind of buckle down and get things done. Again, after the full moon, that waning gibbous time is a really good time to do that. Just anything that needs to be accomplished in front of you, just buckle down, get it done, and be happy in that work, and happy that you're able to do that and be in the moment with it, right? This guy's not bothered by anything. He's just there's a lot of focus, focus on accomplishing the thing, getting the work done. All right. What is beyond your control this week is the Knight of Pentacles. So here comes some sort of action in the way of your material world. And this could be what you're working at here. All of these pentacles here. There's some sort of, this could be something as simple as like a little home improvement, that is reflecting this new sense of happiness. If you're like me, I know spring is coming, and I keep watching the weather to see, when's that first 75, 80 degree day that I cannot wait for, because I know I'll be outside early in the morning and really enjoying the sun, and probably making improvements on some garden or on my yard, or, doing something like that. So, this is just that kind of action. I mean, it could be that, it could be in a lot of different realms, but it's just taking some sort of action, in the way of your material, and it could be your financial world as well. All right. Secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid, is some judgment. So, when the card is in this position, this is your big question this week. Are you passing judgment somewhere on someone, and maybe even on yourself in some harsh way, or are you trying to avoid doing that? So that's the big question for you to ask this week, Sagittarius, is the question of judgment and how you manage judgment. And again, it could be judgment of others, but it could also be judgment of yourself. And in that way, are you being too hard on yourself about something? Are you being too hard on someone else about something? So that's kind of your big question of the week to think about. And in your outcome position is the King of Wands. So not only are you being super clear and concise, with your words and your thoughts and your feelings, and we're kind of getting over this feeling like an outsider, moving out of this anxiety about something, but now your outcome is that you have a knowledge of something that you really love and really have a lot of passion about. And this could be, again, if you're doing something, this could be something in your home. Of course, tarot is a template. This could be something in a relationship that's moving you forward in these ways. But your big question of the week here is this judgment card, is to ask yourself, are you judging yourself a little too harshly, or not enough? Or are you judging someone else? Or are you trying to avoid passing any sort of judgment? So make sure you're asking yourself that question. What is hidden from you this week is the Hierophant. So, this is our card of guidance, kind of in the spiritual realm. And so, maybe it's not really at the forefront of what you have going on this week, and it might be next week, or it might be something that should be, if it's hidden from you, and judgment is something you're struggling with, that might be a place where you can kind of seek some guidance on that. And so that might be why you're at a tarot reading right now, and that may come out. It might be some spiritual lesson that you're learning this week through, this question of judgment. That is a hard one that we all face, and we face it several times, right? It's not something that you can kind of decide once, and then that's the way those decisions go for you. But each situation that comes up when it comes to the question of judgment is very different each time, I find. So, if that's your big question this week, and if the Hierophant is this, if this kind of guidance is hidden from you, that may be kind of your clue, is to seek that sort of guidance. And this could be, again, why you're at a tarot reading. It may be that you want to read up on the concept of judgment when it comes to, maybe the Bible, or, different religious texts, or different religious thoughts and ways of being, different systems, whatever systems that you work within. But that information is out there. I like to say, if you're going through it, someone else has already also gone through it, and there is some guidance out there, that just gives you some insight and some things to chew on and think about. All right, let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final word for Sagittarius, who, let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything that I've missed in your reading when it comes to numbers. Not really. And, I will say that this King of Wands, kind of looking at this judgment, I find very interesting. The fact that everyone else is kind of looking to the right, and this card of, understanding a knowledge of a passion is kind of looking at a judgment. If that means anything to some of you, which it will, take that for whatever you need to. Okay, final word here from the Soul Oracle deck. Grieve your losses, and that could be, whatever's wrapping up for you. It's okay. It's okay. Just let it go, and have those feelings about it if it's something that you've had to let go, something that's been stressing you out, and make necessary sacrifices. I think it's funny that both of those cards, here she's at this window and here she's out on the balcony. So, grieving those losses, letting some things go. She's throwing these flowers out. There's some things that you may have to let go. And again, if this is about judging yourself, maybe you're a little hard on yourself, and some sacrifices are necessary, but it's not the end of the world. You're going to end up, the end of your week here is that what you love, what you adore, what lights fire under you, and your ability to let go of these other things is, it's pretty commendable. So, Sagittarius, I wish you the best of luck with everything that goes on with you this week. I do appreciate your time here with me today. I don't see this as a big major week with a lot of things going on for you. You're basically having a happy week as you let something go, and kind of reevaluate things that are going on in your life right now, which I think is pretty nice. That's a nice, even keeled week for you. So, again, I really do appreciate your time here with me. If there's something that you're comfortable sharing in the comments, please let me know what it is you're going through. What are you guys so happy about this week? And what sacrifices are you making? What are you letting go of? And what's new coming into your life? So, it's always fun to hear what you guys are going through. It helps me connect with you. Also, I do post weekly readings, so come back next week and we'll see if this energy kind of continues for you, or if there's something completely new here for you. And also, if you like my reading style, of course, please like and subscribe. Like I said before, it really does help my channel, and I appreciate that so much. And most importantly, it'll help you find me next week. So thank you so much, Sagittarius, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.